I stood at the altar, gorgeously dressed in an expensive Armani Tuxedo, the kind a woman would pick out for her man for an important occasion as this. The suit made me look sharp in them. It was a fitting black tux, complemented by a silk white shirt. And of course, it came with a goddamn tie too, something I have made up my mind never to wear again after my wedding. With a smile plastered to my face, I stood, a wrecking crack of nervousness. Jim, my best friend and best man for the occasion, inched closer and whispered into my ears, "Brace up, bro. Here she comes." It was my wedding day, the biggest day of my life. I wasn't exactly sure what I was walking into. I also didn't know the extent of freedom I was giving up on, or if I was making a mistake by walking down the aisle. But one thing was certain, I was damn sure about the one person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. The massive leaves of the chapel's door caved in, leading into the auditorium. A train of bridesmaids walked in rhythmically, led by a little bright-faced flower girl who gracefully sprinkled flowers down the carpeted entrance leading to the aisle. Wait, so I have finally placed a name to this rambunctious feeling I have been having. Love. Isn't that what it is called? It's unbelievable that a playboy could fall in love. I mean, how did she do it? Never have I ever been so much into a girl, to the extent of taking her to the altar. I could still remember vividly the shock on her face a few months ago when I proposed to her by the beachside during one of our numerous hangouts with our friends during summer. Her eyes popped out. She obviously wasn't expecting it. I mean, how could you innocently lead a man down the tunnels of love without you knowing it yourself? As soon as the bridesmaid exited the walkway, the violinist slowed down the tempo of the music. And just then, the bride and her father walked in, majestically. Watching father and daughter walk down the aisle was the most beautiful sight I have seen so far this year. I didn't know when the tears escaped my eye. I had to turn to my best man, who dabbed at it with a crisp cotton handkerchief. As they approached the aisle, I peered into the veil to catch a glimpse of the beautiful face of my bride. Gosh, she's so beautiful. Somehow I felt undeserving of her. Like, how did I even get her to saying yes to me? I wasn't looking bad myself. In fact, I could pass for a handsome gentleman, but the beauty I see here, right now, is the one made for the royal palaces. And the veil wasn't doing enough to dampen her glow. When they finally got to the altar, I found out I wasn't the only one struggling to keep a straight face. The bride's father, my soon-to-be father-in-law, was too. His eyes glistened with tears. It took just one exchange of glance with me for his wall to crack. That single look said everything. I understood the whole assignment embedded in that one glance. He was handing over his daughter, one whom he had painstakingly cared for the past 26 years, into my hands. Here was a single father who had refused to remarry after losing his wife and 2 children, his only son and Stephanie's twins, to a fatal accident. He was beyond broken. Stephanie was his joy, his only reason for surviving this far, and today he was handing her into the care of another man. I felt the weight of the tears as it cascaded down his cheeks. It was a release of years of pent-up emotion while trying to be strong for his daughter. The deep-throated cough of the officiating minister brought my mind back to the event. Let the young couples face each other for the exchange of vows before they are joined together in holy matrimony, the minister said, gesticulating with his arms the much his regalia could allow him. I turned sideways to face the love of my life. She inched closer as we held hands together. Still veiled, I looked past the veil and deep into her eyes, winking at her. She hid her smile, shuffling from one feet to another. "You can exchange your vows now, Mr. Damini," the minister instructed. Moisturizing my lips with the help of my tongue, I set out on the journey of expressing my deepest felt emotion to the queen of my life. "Steph, sweetie," I began, "I have never been proud of most of the decisions I have made in my life. Many have turned out to be rash, stupid, and reckless. Some have even come back to haunt me. But on this day, I have never been so sure of this decision of asking you to be my wife. Just like yesterday, I remember the night we met at the club, the dance we shared. I remember going home only to spend the rest of the night thinking about the stranger I shared the dance with. You engulfed my whole thoughts. Good thing I got your number that night. Would have been the biggest mistake of my life. And ever since then, it's been a hell of a ride for us. The smiles, the cuddles, the hangout, the hilarious text messages, snaps, and Skype calls. Bae, you're the total package." I softened my grip on her hands and continued. "The The most amazing thing about your personality is that you never judge me by my past and flaws or whatever the blogs rumor about me. You see through the storm and take me as I am. You've always been there by my side. Whenever I am lonely, you were there for my soul. Whenever I am broken, you make me feel whole. Even though you taught me the art of friendship and how to spend time hanging out with friends, personally, I cherish every moment we spent alone. Every moment was golden. It's been magic anytime we're together. I always felt like time was frozen and the night was made just for us. And after you leave at sunrise, my love for you keeps burning throughout the day. I stared deeply into her eyes, sniffed and continued. My feelings for you left me puzzled for months. The playboy I wasn't used to such sensation. Not until recently did I realize that the feelings I have been holding in must be what people call love. And now I have tasted it, I don't want to lose it. Not for anything in the world. Steph, I don't want our dance to end. I want to be dancing with you forever. I'm so scared of losing you that I want to hold you so tight. Please come into my life. I don't want you leaving at sunrise. I want to be in your life, not just for the night, but forever. And whenever you have a cause to doubt, I'll be reminding you of this day when I took a vow before your father and the whole congregation here, never to do anything that would hurt you. I want to hold you for my hand to feel what it looks like to possess the most treasured jewel in the universe. Looking softly into her eyes, I could see them twinkling with mist. I could hear the muffled sniff of the officiating minister who frantically dabbed at his face to hide his tears. A few of the congregation who couldn't keep still audibly voiced their approval with voices of encomiums. My bride was speechless. She tried hard not to cry as my words moved her. The minister, after making some comments, asked us to exchange rings, which we did sweetly. Soon he said, "You may kiss the bride." I unveiled the most beautiful jewel in the whole of the universe and clapped my hands together with relish at what was before me. Her sumptuous lips were begging invitingly to be kissed. I inched closer, angling my face, and first nibbled on her lower lips before kissing her fully. I felt her arm circling around my neck, drawing me closer. In those lips were the delicious words left unsaid. After the brief moment's kiss, the minister held both her hands and presented us to the congregation as the latest couple in town. As I held her hands while walking down the aisle, my heart bubbled with joy, for my hand knew what it felt like to hold the most beautiful and expensive jewel in the universe.